If I buy a ticket through Delta's system, my name in their system is Nathan. And on my license, my name is Nathaniel. I do not remember making this decision. It's a big deal. You can't just change it. I've tried. I've asked Delta if they could change it, and they're like, we can't change it. And you're like, then I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, you know? If you can't do it, who can do it? I mean, is that why people call senators? Do they do it? I don't know. What you have to do, you have to mail your birth certificate in. Some moms give their children their birth certificates. I've never received mine. I thought I was the proof of my birth. And you gotta mail it in. I've never been a big mailing in guy. I've mailed maybe 4 letters my entire life. I just never done it. Stamps make me nervous because I don't know how many you're supposed to put on. Where they're gonna be like, you should put one more on. And they changed the price of stamps, and that's not in the news, you know? You don't find that out on Twitter. You have to find out from old people. They're the only people that know. They keep up with it. They're like, stamps went up. You're like, okay. All right. Is it $100? Like, they're furious. Is it $100 a stamp? It's 3 more pennies. So, I will never go through that process to get my name changed, so I just deal with it. And it gets brought up. Once I was checking a bag, and the guy behind the counter, he sees my ticket says Nathan, the license says Nathaniel, and he was like, this is not good. He goes, these names don't match. And I was like, but they match, right? Like, you can see the leap that we took to get from one to the other. And he was like, but they're not the same. I was like, but they're the same. And I'm realizing he cannot find out people call me Nate at that point because, he can't handle that. He's gonna call the police over to be like, there's a guy with 3 names trying to fly right here. If you guys wanna just shoot him from over there or something. So I was like, what do you want me to do? And he goes, you should go home. That's all I honestly said. I can't believe you've made it this far. I was like, let me just try it, you know? Shouldn't I try it? I said, look, I'll give you that those names don't match. But what I think is gonna help a ton is the picture on the ID. Something that I've always loved that they did. And I think with 70% of that name matching and 100% face, it's 170%. I think I'll get through. And this is what he told me. This is honestly what he said. He goes, look, man, I get it, all right? He's trying to relate to me. And he was like, my name's Joseph. That's what's on my license. So I can't buy a ticket under my nickname Bart. They're not gonna let me through.
Immigration is tough, you know. They talk about this extreme vetting and everything else was happening. Look, it took me 20 years to get my citizenship. It took my mom almost 21 years. Outrageously long, 20 years. Like, I didn't have a path for 10 of those 20 years. I traveled the world doing stand-up comedy without a passport. Really difficult to pull off, by the way. I had what they call a refugee travel document. And on the front of this document, it says Department of Homeland Security, right? On the inside, in all caps, it says, this is not a US passport. Confuses everybody that I interact with, including the kiosk machine checking in, right? Like, you get a passport, you scan your passport, you get your boarding pass, and you out. Bad party, we're leaving, right? Well, my shit doesn't scan, so I have to show up and be like, excuse me, man, can you please help me check in? She's like, sir, please scan your passport. I'm like, yeah, I don't know why you're yelling at me. I just got here. Yeah, I was here a week ago, and it didn't scan, so I was just, can you please help me check in? Sir, did you try it today? That's a really good observation. I didn't think about it today. Maybe today works. I scan my travel document, huge exclamation point comes up. Please seek help from representative. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, the check engine light just came on and this damn thing is about to explode. Can you please help me check in? She shows up. She's like, sir, just give me your passport. Oh, God. So I give it to her. She's like, okay. Sir, this is not a passport. I was like, yeah, I know. I've been trying to talk to you since I got here. See, it's a travel document, so I can't travel with it, but because there's visas issued from the countries that I'm visiting, so obviously I could travel with it. She's like, sir, this is not a passport. I was like, I speak English perfectly, ma'am. I don't know why you're talking to me this way. See, in 1948, the United Nations was founded, and in 1951, they had a Geneva Convention, and they created a Geneva passport that allows refugees and asylees to travel while they're seeking asylum from their respective countries. But you know what? I'm just gonna blow up this whole fucking airport. That's what I'm gonna do. I mean, my God, you're just making it really difficult for me to maintain my ethics in this situation. Like, I just wanna fucking go nuts. Like, why are you making it so difficult to me be an ethical person? Like, it's just all these fucking roadblocks. This is the beginning of a 20-hour journey. Like, can you imagine? This is just checking in, all right? This is just checking. Next time, your passport. All right, next, your passport. 1949.
Last time I flew out to Los Angeles, I had a direct flight from Jersey, but I had the worst seat on the plane, right? I had a middle seat, last row on a cross-country flight, right? So obviously, yeah, I wasn't happy. The lady who had the aisle seat next to me, she could tell I wasn't happy because she had eyeballs and she could see my face. And she was a white lady. And I only mentioned that because when she saw my face, what she said to me was, ugh, I know. Looks like we're in the back of the bus, huh? And I was like, what, white lady? Yeah, this flight just got fun. But to be fair, like as soon as she said it, her face went beet red, right? She wasn't thinking. She had a brain fart that came out of her mouth, right? She wasn't trying to offend me. I wasn't offended, but I am me. So I did have to let her sit in it for a little bit, right? Like I gave her a little eyeball. Obviously, I made her give me her pretzels as reparations, because that's in the black folk rule book. You get fined if you don't do that. But she kept apologizing, and I actually felt bad. I was like, ma'am, it's okay. Right, because I can be an asshole, but not in that way where I like overreact to buzzwords, right? I can still discern intent, which is the thing I feel like we're losing as a society, right? Like everybody who mentions your group or mentions your race, every reference is not racism, right? Can we all agree? Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Like for instance, if I said, I don't know, white folks, you can't bring your dogs everywhere you go. Like that's not racist, right? That's just the start of a necessary dialogue. I lost a lot of y'all. You're not ready to talk about it yet? Okay, we'll come back to it later, but stop doing that shit. It's annoying. It's horrible.
I love LA. I love any form of transit that moves you from one floor to another, though. That's technology to me. I appreciate that. Like escalators, I love a good escalator, man. You know when you appreciate an escalator? When you come upon a broken one at the mall, where you're like, hey, we'll head Foot Locker, and then we'll get a slice of pizza, and we can just... Let's just do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. I'm out of here. By the way, when you get on an escalator, do me a favor. Just grab the handrail and just stand there. Let life take over. Let it raise you from one floor to another. Can't stand the people who still feel the need to walk. Same idiots always. It's usually the guy with the NutriBullet full of greens. That guy, excuse me! On the left, excuse me! I don't let him by. I get all big. I'm like, nope, not happening. No. Excuse me. Nope, not happening. Big man Pilates time. I love those people movers at the airport, but they're so random. That's the only problem. You could be walking with your luggage for like 2 miles, and then out of nowhere, the airport's like, you know what? Give him a little strip of like 18 feet right there. Just 18 feet? Yeah, just 18 feet is plenty. Just give them a false sense of hope before they walk the additional 42 miles into the parking garage. I use them though. I could literally walk by a people mover and be like, oh, they got a people mover, I didn't see that. You ever been on the people mover and you realize there's somebody walking outside the people mover at the exact same speed as you? You can't even make eye contact with them. You just slowly turn yourself away from them, kind of. This is when I do a lot of my deep thinking, like, what kind of a fat, lazy sea lion are you? You couldn't walk an additional 18 feet? It's 18 feet, man. Come on, you are a manatee. You know that? You sicken me. You sicken me. No more starting New Year's. No more starting money. You're starting now. Turn your life around. I feel so guilty. You turn around. You feel like you owe the guy an excuse. Yeah, I'd be walking with you, man, but I just helped a friend move this morning, and then I ran a 5K, 6K, a bunch of Ks. I'm not sure how many. He's carrying like 4 bags of luggage. I'm holding like a Wendy's bag, you know? I'm not even holding it. I'm resting it on the rail. Just gotta... I can't even lift my fat lunch for 18 feet. You ever been on the people mover and you realize you're passing a Cinnabon? Or an exit ramp. Now, if they did their research correctly, they would realize the people on the people mover that is your core Cinnabon audience. If they're really smart, they'd have every people mover go directly into a Cinnabon. Right? Like a filtering in like a luggage carousel. Fatties just falling in like... What the heck was that? Oh, Cinnabon. Yeah, I'll take 2. Extra icing on both, please. Yeah. Love Cinnabon. I should not have it.
It's so good to be on a show like this, you know what I'm saying? I do shows, you know, like comedy shows, but you know, it's usually like a different roundup of people. Yeah, I'm usually like the only Virgo. Okay, y'all didn't hear me. Okay, a Virgo, like it don't just mean you're born in September or August. You ever watch like an adventure movie? Yeah. Right? And like you always know who gonna die first? The Virgo. Yeah, okay, now we all on the same page. Yeah, and I've been saying that for a while because it came up one time. I went to Canada one time to do a show. Right, not by myself, it was a group of us, but like not like Canada, like you know, like no, like way up. Yeah, we was like a mile from Santa Claus. What they call the Arctic Circle, which was dope because we flew up there, but we like not like from the airport. Yeah, we flew from somebody's backyard. You know, he picked us up and he's like, yo, you know, he picked us up from the real airport, then took us to his house, and then said, we're gonna fly that way. And I'm like, well, when we going back to the airport? He goes, that's the plane right there, my friend. And I was like, I thought that was a Corvette. Okay, you know what that is, right? Y'all speak English, right? Because no, it had a tarp over it, and we pulled the tarp off, and it was an airplane, right? And you know what you don't want to hear before you get on a machine that can fly? Hand me the drill. I'm like, we got to put this together? But you don't. You just fold the wing down and tighten it up, right? And it was, like I said, it was a group of us, very diverse. Everybody from different walks, but I was the only Virgo. You know, and everybody's like, this is gonna be great. And I was like, no. And I don't know if you ever flown on like a little plane like that. It's not like a regular plane where you just get on and sit on and find your seat. You have to step on a scale. And I'm like, what's this for? He goes, well, we have to weigh you to see where you're gonna sit on the plane and to determine how much fuel we're gonna put in it. And I was like, whoo. Because it don't really matter how much I weigh, let's just fill it up. You know what I'm saying? And I was looking around to see if that sounded crazy to the rest of the horoscope. And check it out, because of my height and my weight, I had to sit right next to him like a co-pilot. Yeah. And we flying over the frozen tundra. Have you ever seen somebody do something that you don't know how to do, but you give them advice? Because something in you say, this motherfucker doing this wrong. Because we flying like this. Hey man, keep your foot on the pedal. See how cool I said that? I was nervous, don't get me wrong. But I had to stay, calm. Cause I don't want to get excited. On those little planes, they have a voice recorder in case the plane crash. And they can't identify the body, right? So they listen to the voice recorder. And I didn't want to be, and just say we'd crash. I didn't want to say, I didn't want them to listen to it and to say something like, oh shit, we about to crash. You know what, motherfucker? I knew I shouldn't got on this fucking plane. But guess what, bitch? I'm not gonna die first, because I'm gonna stab you, stab you, and stab you. And then they would have said something like, well, we can't identify the bodies, but pretty sure one was a Virgo.
It started with the packing. Everything broke down with the fucking packing. Everything was going good. We was packing, she was packing, I was packing. Everything felt respectable. But then she started packing a third bag. And that really confused me because she only has 2 arms. So I was like, how you packing 3 bags with 2 arms, baby girl? You don't got enough arms for the bags you packing. What a presumptuous, bold fucking move to pack bags you don't got fucking arms for. Who's supposed to be in charge of these fucking bags? Who's gonna be the boss, bitch? I don't understand. And then we got to an airport and it caused a fight because she forgets I'm not a man. I'm not a fucking man. I'm not. So I don't have any chivalry. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I am a whole bitch. I have no chivalry in me. Are you crazy? So it's not like I saw her struggling with the bags and I was like, I can't let my baby struggle. I gotta get these bags. Fuck no. I was just like, stupid bitch, bring less bags. Dumb motherfucker, that was dumb as all hell. Bringing bags you ain't got enough arms for. Who the fuck does that? You see, I got bags for arms, baby girl. That's how I goddamn roll. Hell's wrong with you? So she's struggling, looking stupid, and I'm just watching like, Then this dude comes and tries to save the day, because that's what dudes like to do, Especially when men see like a masculine woman, that's their favorite shit. They like to come like, I got the real dick, Goofy fucks, I got the real, where you need my dick to go? What bag my dick gotta pick up? What you want my dick? You need my dick over here? Shut up. This fucking clown come, I got the real dick. And he jacks up the bag. And then he looks at me and he's like, now what? Like, nigga, get mine too. You getting bags, get all the bitches' bags. The fuck you think? I'm a lady, carry my shit. Be a fucking gentleman.